Now let's begin with politics. The current administration is yet to spend a year out of its 4-year tenure. But the drumbeats from the 2027 general election are already echoing. Rumours broke out that the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is strategizing to dump the People's Democratic Party to form a mega party towards wresting power from the ruling All Progressives Congress in 2027. But in a statement posted on his X handle, Atiku denied planning to dump the PDP and affirmed his loyalty to the party. Nikhil, this is not the first time we've heard the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar moving from one party to the other. But does this really change anything, this statement that he's put out there? Does this really change anything at all? What do you make of this?
I think that since he left the APC, he's been faithful to the PDP. He has not shown any sign of wanting to dump the PDP. So we've seen him contest in 2 electoral cycles on the platform of the PDP. The 2019 election, the 2023 election. So I do not believe that he has plans to leave the PDP. Maybe his desire to see that opposition parties come together to challenge the ruling party is what has been misinterpreted to mean that he wants to dump the PDP. But I don't think that's the case. I have no evidence that that is the case. I think that Atiku is convinced now that if they had stayed together in 2023, they would have won the election. And statistics don't lie. The opposition parties polled in excess of 14 million votes. Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu polled 8.6. 8.7 or something in their region, not up to 8 million, not up to 9 million votes, which is a hefty difference. If they had stayed together, no doubt about it, they would have won the election. You can imagine if Obi had delivered the Southeast to an Atiku Obi ticket. It will have been a big difference maker because the people of the Southeast came out for Peter Obi, somebody who could not win his local government in the governorship election that during Obiano's contest for a second term. Peter Obi brought out a candidate and he was defeated in his local government. Again, it happened when Soludo contested. He was defeated in his local government. But in the last election, the people of the Southeast came out for him, and he thoroughly dominated the election in those places. So the point that I'm making is Atiku now sees clearly that mistakes were made in the last election, that if they had come together, they will have won this election easily. When they talk about rigging and some of the nonsense that they were saying, I always remind them that you do not expect that 5 governors will rebel against their party, and it will not affect you. You do not expect that a Kwankwaso, just because of an elective position, party elective position, they quarreled with him, he left the party. Look at the way he dominated the election in Kano. You know, you can imagine if Atiku had those votes in Kano. That's an extra 1 million votes for him. You know? So people ought to learn from, learn lessons from things that happen to them. Yeah. So it's like Atiku is becoming wiser now. You know, a person who has taken part repeatedly in elections, by now, Atiku should actually have a professorial chair in electoral contest in our country. Honestly. Because he's clearly the most dominant
candidate in every election.
And litigant as well after an election. So now perhaps he's thinking of, yes, why don't we come together? But if a Peter Obi had said, okay, if a Peter Obi says, Waziri Atiku Abubakar, step down for me, I'm the younger person, will he agree? That is why the ruling party will always feel that, look, these opposition elements can't come together. Because selfishness, greed for power will not let them come together. I remember how Kwankwaso was asked whether he would step down for Peter Obi before this last election. And he described this as an insult. To ask him that question, whether he would step down for Peter Obi, he deemed it an insult. You know? So that's the way they reason. They think the Nigerian politician is a rare breed. He thinks only about himself and his family. When he steals, he's stealing from members of his family. And that's why even when they get to power, get to the corridors of power, they are thinking about themselves. They are stealing for themselves, stealing for members of their family, stealing for what in their view is posterity. It's not posterity that you are stealing for. You have just been silly. Because if you are patient, you will give yourself immortality. It's better to give yourself a good name, serving the people, than get a bad name, stealing for yourself and for members of your family. So for me, Atiku will remain in PDP. And if you ask me whether Atiku would like to contest the next election, I can bet with everything that belongs to me in this world that if Atiku is alive, he can still breathe in and out, he's going to contest that election again. Atiku is focused on perennial contestation.
What's your thoughts on this, Mr. Tunde?
Well, in politics, nothing is impossible.
Right.
And because we have 3.5 years between now and 2027, there will be alignments and realignments. But the core thing, like Jide said, is that what I've discovered about our politicians since after the Second Republic is that they were not pursuing any good thing for the people, but it is about them. First about them, second about them, then lastly about them. It is not about ideology. That is why you see somebody be in PDP this evening. In the following morning, he may announce that it's in APC. If joining the APC will satisfy his own personal aggrandizement and political goal. So the goal is not about the people. As for Atiku, I think that, well, if he feels like it could be more honorable or more enduring to institute a professorial share in any of the universities, to endow a share in any of the universities in Nigeria, so that they can learn about the need for patience in politics and how to run the race. But one thing that is clear is that in economics, they say all other things being equal. But in Nigerian politics, I don't see all other things being equal. Because the PDP, as you see today, the younger elements, who are the governors from the northern states, I can't see them deciding to bury their ambition for somebody who will be over 80 years old. What happened last year is not likely to happen in 2023, even though that will not stop anybody from still 27. That will not stop anybody from contesting for the primaries of the party. But what I know will change is that some governors on the PDP from the northern part of the country who believe that they can deliver, who believe they are younger, they are concerned about their own future, not about the future of somebody who is angling to see the party presenting him. Because everything is about the fact, even if there's a sort of alignment today, the alignment will be formed around the ambition of somebody. And that may be detrimental to the ambition of others too, who are also in politics to fulfill a particular goal. So, like I said, nothing is cast in stone. But the fact remains that we are not likely to, except what happened in 2015, we are not likely to see any rainbow coalition in Nigeria that will succeed. The only thing that can make it succeed is that if politicians, if opposition can bury their personal ambitions and look at the nation and an ideology, it could succeed. But except the more personal ambition still determines what they do, I can't see it succeeding.
It could be a mirage.